time that commercial comes on, I go, "You're not dead." When the guy's in court, my dad gets mad at me, but I had to do it. I don't know. I'm in a goofy mood today, so the review is a little bit goofy, but I hope you enjoyed it. And I said 8 out of 10.
Alright, here we go. This video is called Embarrassing My Dad. And we all remember growing up as kids, funny stories with your parents and stuff that are very entertaining. And wait a minute. Yeah, like I said, as kids, we might have done things to embarrass our parents that are pretty funny. And depending on how goofy your sense of humor was, it was funny. And I have a couple of funny stories I thought I'd share them with you. But first of all, I want to say, whenever my dad was growing up, this is something where he was hanging out with his friends, and they'd go play stuff like that way before I was born, maybe when they were teenagers or whatever, in the 50s. And he was hanging with the guys. There was one guy, I'm not going to say the guy's name, but sometimes he got carried away in the movies, because sometimes I see movies, right, and like some really good examples of There Will Be Blood, when Daniel Day-Lewis, he played a real jerk. And sometimes you get so mad, you get so in the movie, you get mad to really bad guys and stuff, and you really start to get angry. You want them to kick the crap out of the guys. Or like Christopher Walken. I like Christopher Walken, but in Nick of Time, the Johnny Depp movie, he was a real jerk. And like movies like that, and some other ones, Eddie Albert. Usually people remember him as a lovable guy in Green Acres, but he played a nasty villain. Oh man, he was in a movie called Attack. Oh man, I was really getting mad at that one. But anyways, my dad was out with these guys in the 50s, his group of friends, and they were going to see a World War II movie, and this one had David Jansen in it. And there was a scene, the guy must have watched it, my dad's friend must have got really carried away, and there was a scene where Dave Jansen was in the foxhole, and one of the Japanese jumped in, the bad guy, because we were fighting him back then. The Japanese came and stabbed him with a bayonet, and then my dad's friend jumped up and said, "You no good, dirty son of a bitch," right in the middle of the theater, and everybody started busting out laughing. My dad said, sit down, and shut up." And the usher came down, and that's when he had ushers and stuff like that. Said, "Is there something wrong?" And I said, "No, my friend's getting a little carried away." He said, "Make sure it doesn't happen again." So that was something that was funny. But on a couple of really goofy stories, because I have a goofy sense of humor. And I remember in second grade, when I was in second grade, I think, or third or fourth, I was in the back seat. My sister was in the front seat. My sister was born a few years after I was. I was born in 68. My sister was born in 72. And, excuse me, we were getting the car fixed. We had the mechanics. And they had the vents open, right? And you could speak into the vent, and they could hear you on the outside of the car. And I told my sister, "Hey, Jody, say gee through the vent, say gee through the vent." She was really young right there. And she was, I was laughing so bad. And she was like right to the vent out of the car, and she was going, gee, 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 in the vent. And I would laugh my ass off, man. And then the guy, my dad was looking at us real mad, and the guy was shaking his head and said, "What's wrong, your kid's nuts or something?" But boy, is my dad bad. He came and we got yelled at so bad. That's one thing. And then I remember in the old days, we went to, oh man, we'd go play, and this same thing happened with his friends and stuff like that. He'd be in the car, someone had to go out and use the bathroom, go pee or something like that in the middle of the night. They'd either like turn on the bright lights or honk the horns. And I remember my dad had to pull over the side of the road and said, "Don't you do nothing," and I gotta go pee. And then we'd start honking horns when he was trying to pee. Boy, is he mad at us. That was so funny. And then I remember a few years back when I worked second shift. And second shift back then was, well, it was 3 to 11, and then they switched to 4 to 12, right? And I think this was 4 to 12. I used to watch Robin Meade. I still do in the morning when I can. before going to work, and they had a commercial for Sandals Resorts, and the commercial used to say, "One world, one life, one world, let's get together." And they used to really draw the song out, and I'd make fun of the song all the time. And I guess my dad I was getting ready in the bathroom, using the bathroom, getting dressed or brushing my teeth or whatever. And my dad was outside with the neighbors, my two neighbors, Larry and Ann. And that commercial came on, and I screamed out, "One world, take a big O, one world, bag a take O," really, really, really loud. And my dad came in and said, "Shut up, shut up. Larry and Ann's out there, they're going to think you're nuts." And when I was singing that, Larry had a big smile on his face and said, "Well, I got to go inside the house now." And then my dad said, "Please excuse me, my son's going nuts." And my dad came in and said, "Shut up, they're going to think you're crazy." And I just laughed my ass off the whole time. It was so funny. And there's other instances I've done stuff like that and embarrassed my dad. He tried to embarrass me by embarrassing him too. It's so funny. I remember a couple of times I'd be in the store shopping, and I'm right next to my dad, I'd start walking with a limp or something like that. Or he'd be in one of those motorized chairs, right? And I'd get in front of him with a shopping cart, and I'd rip out a fart. He had to smell it. It's so funny. I got silly sense of humor, but I think that's really funny. So this has been a video embarrassing my dad. Because, I mean, it's a back and forth. We embarrass each other and family murder and stuff like that. I just think this is really funny. So I hope you like this video. And till next time, everybody, please take care of my legion. Another silly video. I did a silly video before. Now another silly video. So take care, everybody. Oh, the itch right there, too. Alright, take care.